never to have seen him perform, and in some cases,
George who?
never even heard of him. Hard to believe? Try the simple test. Ask your own kids when you get home tonight. And while you're at it, Pop, ask them about John Barrymore, The Little Flower, Wendell Willkie, Toots and Casper, Melrose, and the NRA. Ask them about Lamont Cranston.
Never heard of him.
Surprised? Don't be. There's been one of those floods the earth comes up with every 20 years or so. The old landmarks have tumbled, and except for the odd footprint, the sand is clear. Look for me, says Georgie. I'm still there. Well, that's what we're going to do tonight, Georgie. Look for you. Wally, can we have some light? Because this is George Cohan's story, we tell it where he lived it, on a stage. Like this one. Not much, is it? Or everything. Depends on how you look at it. End of prologue. We're ready. We hope you're ready. George was never anything but. Beginning with his first stage in Providence, Rhode Island, July 4th, 1878. The truth is he was born the day before, but it pleased George to give Independence Day as his birthday, so July 4th it is. Heightened reality, they call it, truth dressed up for the stage. But that's where he lived it, how he lived it, and how we tell it. July 4th, 1878. Unless he wants to. Why, that boy's not putting his foot on the stage until he's at least 18 or 19 or even 21 months. Or as soon as he learns how to talk, whichever comes first. I could carry him on with me tonight. We might as well teach him how to dance while he's learning how to walk. It'll save time. Oh my God, he's dancing. Go on, Georgie, try it again. That's it, good boy. Now this time move out a little and pick it up after the shuffle, and when you get to the second chorus, try adding in the clef. Absolutely not. The boy's only 10 years old, and I have no intentions of allowing him to. All right. One dance for Georgie, but only when he comes out for the encore with Josie. Who do you think made it up? Georgie, not bad for a 15-year-old kid, is it? Come on, try it with him now. Sure, the boy hasn't had much of an education, but what makes seen as much of this country as he has, well, that's an education too, you know. Look at all the towns he's played. Akron, Dayton, Des Moines, Sioux City, Cleveland, Memphis, Portland, Oregon, Portland, Maine, Wichita Falls, Mount Rock, Denver, Phoenix, Cedar Rapids. My mother thanks you, my father thanks you, my sister thanks you, and I thank you. Okay, let's take those drops out. Let's get some light down here. Archie!
Hey, yeah.
Where are the rest of the boys?
Hey, hold your horses, George. They're right behind me. George, are you sure it wouldn't be better to see him in the dressing room first?
Worst place in the world, Pop. Guy like E.F. Albee comes back to see us. It's a scene, it's gotta be staged.
What your father's trying to say, George, is that it might be a good idea to go easy with Mr. Albee.
Mom, Pop, leave Albee to me. He wants this act or he wouldn't have come all the way to Cedar Rapids to catch it. And if he wants it, he's gonna pay for it. Now remember, we give it the Cohen touch. Speed, lights, music.
George, it's Mr. Albee. He's coming.
You and Mom do your number first, then Josie. Then for the grand finale, little Georgie himself. Hello, E.F. Love to chat with you. But we're busy now running over some sensational new material I just wrote for the act to use when we play in New York.
Some other time, then.
Oh, no. I'll watch if you insist. As a matter of fact, it might do you some good. The public's getting sick of the same junk you've been feeding them for the past 20 years. You need something new, kid, and that something happens to be spelled C-O-H-A-N. Go on, Pop. You're on.
That good old musical moon that we sing about in every June. Never wearing our plate on the
Cute,
street
Pop.
of a musical
Watch
play.
this.
Honeymoon, even got a honeymoon, musical moon. That rhymes with cute and smooth and smooth.
Rewrite.
Leading lady gets the dough.
We'll poke our gold Romeo. Folks are welcome at a late night show to the bring of that musical moon.
Great, kids, great. Hope you noticed the song, E.F. Another Cohan original. And now I want you to meet the pride and joy of the family, the most talented little miss in vaudeville, Miss Josie Cohan.
Oh, you wonderful boy. What a wonderful boy you are.
Makes you want to move with it, huh?
Made the world appear to me, dear to me.
Go ahead, move if you feel like it.
Those wonderful eyes thrill me through.
He's moving inside.
It seems to me to be a wonderful world since I met
Josie, that was wonderful. And now, kid, I want you to get a load of a song, a step, and a personality that I guarantee will take New York by storm a week after we open. Little Georgie himself. Let's not walk through this one, Eileen. Goodbye, my lady love. So long, my turtle dove. Farewell, my honeysuckle, I gotta go. While I am on my way, I'll phone you every day. I'll tell you how I am if you want to know.
I'm here if you're acting gaily.
Don't be leery.
Will I get my letter daily?
Yes, my dearie. Honey, goodbye. Dearie, don't cry. Honey, do you know I've gotta go? All aboard for Broadway. That's the Yankee land. Just got time to say goodbye. That's all. So long, honey. Hear the train man calling. All aboard for Broadway. I'll be back someday. Hurry, dear, now just one kiss to think of all the fun I'm missing by this. The Broadway train. wait a minute, Mr.
That
Albee.
is, and I call her Mr. Albee, and I'm sure Josie.
But this is a four-act, Mr. Albee.
Maybe you didn't like everything you saw, but with a few changes or a few cuts.
What changes? The act's great and you know it. And just because that big
Producer, you've got to scare the boy, Mr. Albee. Why, he's just so excited about you being here. Why, only this afternoon he said to me, "Gee, Dad, do you suppose Mr. F. Albee, with all his renown, taste, and experience, would be willing to help us with the act?" Didn't you, son?
I never.
You see? Go on, Mr. Albee. We're all ears.
Well, it ain't a bad little act, I guess.
What'd I tell you?
Maybe I could use the four of you. You can open in 2 weeks.
There.
I get it. He was only kidding before. Hey, you're a great kidder, yeah. Now what we want is $7.50 per. In Poughkeepsie. At $1.50 per. 2 weeks guaranteed. Then if you shape up, troll.
Wonderful, Mr. Albee, and we accept. Now, when do we start?
Start. Nobody starts in Poughkeepsie, Pop. That's where you finish. So if you want my advice, Mr. Albee, Sonny, I think you said just about enough. Well, no, I didn't, Mr. Albee. Not near enough. You're going to want this act someday, and I just want you to know the four Cohans will never play any theater gigs as long as we're in the business. And there's no use pleading I won't change my mind. That's enough. Poughkeepsie.
It's a lot closer to New York than we are now.
Closer isn't enough, Pop. We've been on our way to New York for 12 years. I want to get there.
So do I, and your mother. But just because we want a thing doesn't mean we can have it.
Why not, Pop? If you're good enough and I'm good enough, why not? I can't lie, Pop. You didn't teach me how. I'm Georgie. And I think I'm great. And if that makes me a fresh punk, okay, I'm a punk. But I'm going up there, Pop. And no Albee or anybody else is going to stop me.
Hey, Tiger.
Not now, Archie. I'm busy.
Hey, so are the boys, George, and they want their money.
Don't worry, Archie. I'll get you your money. I always pay my debts. Dad, can you let me have 20?
I haven't got that much, George. Nellie?
Just the money for the week's rent, Jerry. I'll get it.
Hey, listen, Mrs. Cohen.
I'm really sorry about all this. When we rehearsed 6 hours.
Georgie, what am I going to do with you? I know you want to get someplace, be somebody, but you're using up so many people along the way.
People aren't what I'm thinking about now, Pop. Just let me get where I'm going, and I promise you, we'll have so many people around us, we won't know what to do with them.
I hope so, George. I hope so.
Well, you understand, don't you, Josie? It's like I'm running. There's a long train going by me, and I'm running after it. It's nighttime, and I can see people laughing inside. And the light from the windows shines on those brass railings right outside the doors. And I know if I can just once, grab onto those railings, I'll get on. And for some crazy reason, you'll be there, and Mom and Pop. All of us together, Josie, always.
You'll get on, George. I know you will. The trains start and stop, and that's why we all need people. To be there when it's time to get off. Because nothing's always, George.
Well, I am. And you know why? Because I'm playing it their way from now on. If humble's what they want, humble they're gonna get. 14-carat solid brass, Rhode Island Irish humble, and don't look for better because there ain't none. Mom, Dad, meet the new me. That's right. The old Georgie is no more that old loudmouth. So feast your eyes on the new one. Modest, thoughtful, quiet, unassuming, and most of all, considerate of other people at all times, unless, of course, we happen to run into fatheads like Albee. Well, did you see the way he sat there, Mom? Not a smile in him. But don't you worry, Pop. We'll play New York. Why shouldn't we? We got everything. Brains, talent, the greatest act in the business, and me, little Georgie himself.
I like the new George.
Best thing about him is you don't miss the old one.
Mom, Pop, you're not letting this get you down, are ya? Okay. So Albee didn't hire us, And we owe Madame Grimaldi $20 for the rent. Couple bad breaks like that ain't gonna stop us. You know what I want? I want the four of us to walk out of this theater as if we owned the world. When I say walk, I meant march. No, stride. Shoulders back, head high, chin up, follow me.
There he goes on his dancing toes with that famous American stride, full of musical comedy pride. Laughter holds up when he is Main Street stands to ladies a Broadway kid, and to wrap up the town was his plan. His famous walking, fancy talking, happy grin, crowding in around him, to Helen crowned him. The Yankee Doodle, Yankee Doodle. Musical comedy man.
That's it, Pop. You're doing it now. Hey, Cedar Rapids. Hate to rush off, but we got places to go. Big time places. That's right. That's Broadway beckoning right over there.
And right over there, the poorhouse. If I hurry, I'll get it on the road.
Tell him he's a Broadway kid, and to wrap up the town is his plan.
If this kid is one happy, thought this happy friend.
Another life to make him, which is a great him. The Yankee Doodle. Jerry Bullock, and you all know that from all these mountains and stuff. Yankee Doodle.
You have enough trouble explaining about the rent.
Yankee Doodle. George. Yankee Doodle. Musical comedy man.
They're off on those spoons, so you all know what day it is. It's a Friday, a rent day. So first, dinner after. And behold, what we are about to receive, dear Lord, as the symbols of your everlasting goodness and bounty. We, your loving and devoted servants, toiling together in the fields of Christian endeavor, do most humbly attend to thee. Ah, yes.
Oh,
Especially those of us who are paid up. It's your turn to help serve, Mrs. Red Deer. Now, who didn't get a napkin? That's all right. Mrs. Red Deer served the roast.
Roast leg of what?
It's awfully small.
Where's the cat?
Just get her lying down. Oh, she had a little migraine. Now, who didn't get the butter? That's right. Mrs. Right there, serve the alphabet soup.
P-A-Y?
U-P?
It's my own idea. So much more personal than a summons.
well, Madame Grimaldi, that certainly was delicious.
Delicious? What did he get that was delicious?
Oh, well, no, sir. We won't get food like that in New York.
You where? What did he say?
I thought you knew. We're going there with the act.
George?
Mr. Cohan, you can't expect us to swallow that. Everyone knows how Mr. Albee turned you down flat this afternoon.
Well, no, it's all arranged. We had to get him to turn down the act because, well, we'd already signed with Hyman Damon this morning. That's right. We open the Adams Street Theater in New York City next Thursday night with a new musical comedy sketch called The 20th Century Kid, written, conceived, and executed by Georgian Cohan.
Oh, Mrs. Cohan. Nellie. What's the prime rib? Shut up, all of you. You know I never commit a business to be discussed at dinner. Out, all of you, out. Go clean the bar. Acrobat. Animal acts.
Something on the spicy side. I do an exotic Turkish dance, you know. Oh, but don't worry. I cover up my secret splendor with fringe. Number one, that ain't no secret. And number two, there ain't that much fringe in all of Cedar Rapids.
Well, I had to say something, didn't I?
Well, did you have to tell her that story about New York?
Anyhow, it's all true, or it's going to be. I'm going upstairs to write that sketch tonight. And don't worry about Hyde and Bayman. I'm going to make them an offer they can't refuse. The 4 Cohans for $0, not 1 red cent, free the first week. Then if we go over, we'll talk terms.
One little question, George.
Shoot!
What if the new act flops?
How can it flop? It's conceived, written, staged,
And executed
by George M. Cohan.
I'll take the dirt. what I've invented is the 60-mile-an-hour romance.
There are organizations to deal with people like you, the police, the lifeguards, the benevolent protective else.
What I care to elucidate. Why not? Maestro. No time to pitch woo now. The century's new now. I'm singing my love me and runs, kid. It's 1901's kid. And be my 20th century, not till 1908 now. It's not been a day now. The raining down, we demonstrate. Don't look the drum up, kid. Your nose has been cooked, kid. It's raining down, shining, don't be late.
Wait, no! I want to be wooed first. Put me in the mood first. I need that mood. He's taking my clothes. My parasol's missing. My hand someone's kissing. Take back your 20th century. Very well, Mr. Thomas Edison Smith. I will accept you as a potential suitor, but I must warn you that I'm the sort of girl who wants a boy to her property first. Then go walking, then dancing, then hold my hand and my waist, then kiss me, propose, march down the aisle. Put a ring on my finger, give me a dozen unheralded roses, and carry me across the threshold.
And I'll do all that. Only put a little 20th century pace in it. Ready?
Go! Hey, Pete! Walk!
Dance, dance, waist, kiss, propose, rose, aisle, ring, threshold. Promenade, the whole world racing. Speed all the way, as we go chasing. Thomas Edison, he's the one who's gonna accelerate.
Now with Mr. Bell, Samuel Morse as well. Why keep waiting? Eat, walk, dance, hand, waist, kiss, propose, rose, aisle, ring, threshold. The clock is 2 now. It's 1902 now. I love you, my God, I'm glad it's Saturday. Whenever we're parted, we're not broken hearted. As long as our telephone is here. Just like the first sight down, my hands get light down. Knowing more stars above. Walk, dance, waist, kiss, propose, rose, aisle, ring, threshold. Always in our lives. So hurry to me. It's 1903. And be my 20th century song. My mother thanks you. My father thanks you. My sister thanks you. My wife thanks you. And for the last time on the Hyde and Bayman vaudeville circuit, I thank you too.
George, what are you doing? What do you mean the last time with Hyde and Damon?
Moving, kid, up as far as it goes and never coming down.
George, I like vaudeville. It's what I know best, and look how far the acts come. Why must we move anywhere?
Because if you don't move, Ethel, you're slowing down. That's not for little Georgie. Mr. Bayman.
Wait, George.
Bayman. Yeah, kid. Just wanted to say so long, Mr. Bayman. Moving up.
What up? You got 52 weeks a year, guaranteed with me.
52 weeks a year, but only 15 minutes a night. And that's not enough, Mr. Bayman. I want the full time, 8:30 to 11.
George, I'll level with you. 8:30 to 11 is musical comedy. Meet in Broadway, and I ain't sure you're ready yet. Fall on that street, kid, and the whole country hears the crash. You won't get a vaudeville booking for 10 years.
Who says I'm gonna fall?
Bigger boys than you have, Georgie. Look, why not take your time? Get a little more experience first. Play another year or two of vaudeville before you risk it. I'm saying this for your own good, kid.
So long, Mr. Bayman.
Okay, have it your own way, but make that goodbye. I don't keep no lights burning in the windows.
Goodbye, Mr. Bayman.
Hey, kid,
Yeah, Bayman.
one last thought. You got a thing about you. A way with people, you rub them the wrong way, kinda. You may not mean no harm, but people ain't gonna like you, Georgie. Like me.
Then I'll do without you, Mr. Bayman, and the rest of them if I have to.
That's
Howie Minute. He's just one guy. All right, Ethel, he's right. I'm a big mouth. But I got something inside of me. Something this whole country needs, and I'm going to give it out for free, no strings attached. Like me. Kid, they're going to love me. And if I lose one or two so-called pals along the way, let it be more.
And if it's more than just one or two, George?
I can have all that. Let it be more. There's a whole country full of people out there, Ethel. Someone's gonna take it. Why not me?
Georgie?
Why not me? My town, that's Manhattan. Up, down, stone and satin. Noise, boys, nothing about it can make me proud. Times Square, how I love it. Fresh air, I die of it. Born in teenage, still I'm happy to say this is my hometown. Raw rush, traffic swinging, red blush, bright lights gleaming, clouds proud, nothing about it can get me down. Green trees, I know freedom. Birds, bees, you can feed 'em. Skies may be gray now, and then on Broadway, and beside every smile there's a frown. Till it's my home. Okay, Pop. So I went too fast.
Somewhat if you did, George. Everyone's entitled to a few mistakes, and one bad show's not the end of the world, you know.
Hold it, Pop. Who said anything about it being a bad show? It was just a little ahead of its time, that's all. When I said I was moving too fast, I mean Broadway's moving too slow. What I've got to do is give this town time to catch up with me. 3 weeks. George, all right, a month. And in exactly that time, I opened my new musical comedy, Little Johnny Jones. It'll star the 5 of us. Only this time, Pop, I'm only going to do what I know best.
Yeah, singing, dancing, directing, acting, writing, scripts, music, costume. Have you got it figured out how you can show the customers to the C-check?
I'm working on it, Pop. I'm working on it. It's a great idea, Pop. I play this American jockey in England who's accused of throwing the big race. Only you find out I didn't do it, so... Ethel?
Sorry, George. I was thinking about what we talked about last week.
Bayman again?
I spoke to him yesterday, George, and he'd be willing to take us back with more money, better billing. We could do the old act, have more time for each other.
Ethel, you don't seem to understand. When I said I was through with vaudeville, I meant it. All right. They knocked me down this time, but kid, I bounce. And we will have time for each other. Go on a vacation long as you want. Right after the new show opens. Scared you that time, didn't I? Almost made it. Word of warning next time around. Save me a seat. Green trees, I don't need 'em. Birds, bees, you can't feed 'em. Skies may be gray now, and then on Broadway, and beside every smile there's a frown. Still it's my home.
dad's was the same, Billy. I love the way they laugh and say, how silly to call a girl Billy. Baffles them all, Billy. For at the core, Billy, they think it's so queer that a girl should appear. Their illusions I fear I destroy. Here is the reason my name's Billy. My parents expected a boy.
That's fine. Ben, take her to costumers. Miss
I'm Nolan. I'm from Worcester, Mass. My folks went to your folks.
Yeah, great. We'll have to sit down and do lunch or something.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Cohen.
Ben!
Yes, Mr. Cohan?
Ben, this is a rehearsal. Get Ethel and the girls out here. I want to do push cards.
Girls,
And go out this time.
Go out this time.
Push me along in my toy car. Push me along with the crowd. What a sensational feeling one feels. It beats all the patience and automobiles. Covered with parents and World War. Over the sidewalks we shove. Oh, what adventures a single girl meets. Pedaling vegetables out in the streets. Did you ever get kissed through a wet bunch of beans when you're pushed along in your push-cart? With the boy you like. Push me along in my toy car. Push me
That's
along
not
with
what
the
London
crowd.
looks like.
You've been there all.
Oh, what adventures
You
a
don't have to be
single
there to
girl
know what
meets.
it looks like. Do
Pedaling
that walk over a
vegetables
big
out in
walk.
the streets.
For
Did you
London.
ever get kissed
Hell,
through a wet
you don't
bunch
even
of
have the
beans
Eiffel
when you're
Tower.
pushed along in your
Ben,
push-cart?
get Josie and the boys out here. I want to do ring to the name of Rose. Come on, girls, come on. Ring to the name of Rosie. A ring ting-a-ling to the name of Rosie. Other names you may say ring true. So they do, but they ring for you. I still ring to the name of Rosie, 'cause there's something to the name of Rosie that gives a heart. That ring a rosy, ring a ling, ding a ling. There's a ring to the name of Rose, the name of Rose. Fine. Now do it like you meant it. Louis! Louis! What do you want Louis for? Oh, some fathead told him to put the Eiffel Tower right in the middle of the London drop. That fathead was me. What color would you like it? Ben!
Yes, Mr.
Get Billy and the kids out here. We were supposed to do popularity 1/2 hour ago. Come on, we've got a show to put on.
Kids, popularity.
dear. You all right?
No, Pop, I'm not. I want this so much, Pop. I'm scared.
Thank God, Georgie. Thank God I can quit worrying about you now.
Pop, you've been in this business 35 years. How do you know?
Know what, George?
If it's good, it's not the applause. They're friends out there. They'll cheer no matter what. How do you know if it's really good?
It's hard to explain, but there is something that happened. Suddenly, the whole stage just shined. You know, these lights, they're the same as we set them in rehearsal. But suddenly, they get stronger and brighter. The orchestra is playing louder and faster. And suddenly, the whole stage just shines. Don't worry, son. You'll know when it happened. Come on, we're on. Now remember, Jones, stick here on the pier and watch for the skyrocket. If it goes off, it means I've got papers from Anstein's cabin to prove you innocent of throwing the derby. So remember, stick here on the pier and watch for the skyrocket.
Thanks, pal. Thanks. I'll be watching.
Don't worry, Mr. Jones. We still believe in you.
That means a lot, kid.
Any messages back home, Johnny? Any messages back home, Johnny?
Yeah, one. Say hello to dear old Coney Isle. It's there your chance to be. When you're at the Waldorf, have a smile and charge it up to me. Mention my name every place you go, as round the town you roam. Wish you'd call on my pal. Now remember, old gal, when you get back home, give my regards to Broadway. Remember me to Herald Square. Tell all the gang at 42nd Street that I will soon be there. Whisper of how I'm yearning to mingle with the old-time throng. Give my regards to old Broadway and say that I'll be there ere long.
Goodbye, Johnny.
You're gonna be all right now. Johnny, just watch for the skyrocket.
Well, Johnny, I guess we won't be taking that trip together after all.
There'll be lots of trips together, lots of them. I promise you that, kid. I promise you. Did you ever see two Yankees part upon the foreign shore? When the good ship's just about to start for old New York once more. With tear-dimmed eye, they say goodbye. They're friends without a doubt. Then the man on the pier shouts, "Let 'em clear!" as the ship strikes out.
Give my regards to Broadway.
Remember me too, Herald Square.
Tell all the gang at 42nd Street that I will soon be there.
corner of Broadway and 43rd the other day. Kid yells out, "Hey, Frankie, there goes the man who owns Broadway." So I turned around to see who he meant. And you know what? It was me. And you know what else? He was right. Old Georgie's up there now, climbed on board, picked a window seat. Now I've got my eye on a private car. Why not? Check the league I'm batting with now. The geezer with the roll of bills is none other than the mayor of this fair city, Norbert T. Hatchery himself. Pilot fish swimming around him include Chief Alderman Haley, economical fella, never buys a whole pair of gloves, doesn't have to, one hand's always in someone's pocket. That's His Honor T.J. Anspacher mooching the cigars. Very distinguished gentleman, only living U.S. justice, still on parole. And last but not least, our own Congressman W.F. Burkhart Jr., running for his 6th straight term on the Prohibition ticket. Why are they here? To give a little glitter to my latest enterprise, going to become a big Broadway producer and give Ziegfeld and Frohman a run for their money. Got me Sam H. Harris for a partner. And from now on, Cohan presents Cohan.
Splendid little setup you've got here, Mr. Cohan. Now, what I want to know is, when can we expect the first Cohan and Harris production?
Oh, give us a break, Your Honor. We just got together. Well, as a matter of fact, I thought we might sit this season out
And just do the new Faye Templeton show, and that's all.
I always thought Miss Templeton was one of the biggest stars on Broadway, Mr. Cohan.
And she'll be twice as big when we're through with her, right, Sam?
Faye Templeton.
Well, now, Mr. Cohan, if Miss Templeton is really doing this show, then
Really doing this show? She's been hounding us all week for the contract. Letters, phone calls. Why, she's got her lady waiting outside this minute. Hi, Mrs. Templeton. Haven't got a name for the show yet, or don't know when we're gonna open it.
Well, last week in December.
Huh?
Oh, that's right. Last week in December, with the biggest hit of Faye's career.
Sam, you're gonna be all right. Hey, how'd you like to hear one of the songs I wrote? We're sending over to Fazy today. Get a load of this. Out west I have found, that's where hay seeds abound, and Missouri's the state that designed them. And though this may be, you can take it from me, you don't have to go out west to find them. If you want to find a real hick delegation, the place where the real Rubens dwell, just hop on a train at the Grand Central Station. Jump off when they shout, "Nor Rochelle!"
What I want to know is who he thinks he is. Me sending my mother for the contract? God rest her soul.
I didn't know she was dead.
She's as good as dead. She's in Philadelphia. Rose, will you stop playing that song? In a minute, honey.
Calm down, Faye. Cohan's impulsive, but he's got talent, and you could use a new show.
Look, Freddie, I managed to struggle along very nicely till now without Mr. Cohan. So will you please call the papers and tell them I will not be in the new Cohan show? Rose, will you please stop playing that song?
What a hitter Fazy is. Of course she's doing the show. Had lunch with her this afternoon at Delmonico.
George, Fazy, and the old lady.
Gave her her second number. See if you like it. So long, Mary. Mary, we will miss you so. So long, Mary. How we hate to see you go. And we'll all be longing for you, Mary, while you roam. So long, Mary.
Don't forget to come back home.
Mama!
Now they're coming up ours, baby. I'm just getting to the good part.
I don't want to hear the good part.
You
rehearsals begin next Monday, and then
That's right, signed, sealed, and delivered. She goes into rehearsal next Monday, and this is the song that did it.
If you want to make good in a Broadway show, you must have a song that is sure to go. The sort of refrain that gives you a pain and drives you insane when you hear it again. The orchestra's heard it near and far. It's usually sung by the female star. The publisher gives her a motor car. I'm not gonna do something like this.
down by the Erie, there waits my gal. Though the days are long and dreary, he declares he'll ne'er grow weary. Oh, John O'Leary, I'm afraid you've lost your gal, for she's left you flat, my dearie, by the Erie Canal.
Down by the Erie, there waits my gal.
Though the days are long and dreary,
He declares he'll never grow weary.
Poor John O'Leary,
I'm afraid you've lost your gal, for she's left you flat, my dearie, by the canal.
for it was Mary, plain as any name can be, but with propriety, society, we say Mary. But it was Mary, long before the fashions came. And there is something there that sounds so fair. It's a grand
Funny story, George. Not the best time to tell it, but it won't take long. It's about this boy and girl who are going away together right after the new show opened. Only trouble was that each time a new show opened, there was a new show to open. So one day she decided to go away together by herself. And the funny part is that she didn't know how to tell him.
Did she have to tell him, Ethel? All right, he's been busy these past few years, but that's over now. They could really do it this time. Go away together on a holiday, long as you want, just the two of them, right after the new show opens.
She had to tell him, George.
Then give it the Cohan touch. Speed like music. Play the bad news against a happy scene. Kid, it'll knock them dead.
All our friends, every one of them, they're all our friends, wonderful friends, dozens and dozens, a regular throng, simply beseech us and follow along.
All our friends,
Every one of them, they're never quite as
they come in groups and troops, invited or not. Uptown, downtown, right on the spot.
train keeps. I want to be reading these telegrams when they come in.
Okay, George.
Well, don't stop. Just want to read a few wires, that's all. Sam's put them in order of importance, so the first one's from Sam Harris. To the casting company of 45 minutes from Broadway, backstage New Amsterdam Theater, 211 West 42nd Street, New York, the United States of America. Hey, Western Union doesn't charge for the address, do they?
Oh, certainly not.
That explains the message. Congratulations. Here's one for Faye. Welcome at long last, after years of constant and disheartening failure, to the ranks of big Broadway stars like I, Lillian Russell.
Sweet. Don't those big fat girls have the nicest sense of humor?
One for me. Dear Mr. Cohan, thank you for this wonderful show and a chance to be part of it. Agnes Nolan. Nolan?
Here she is.
Oh yeah, Miss Wooster Mass. Thanks, kid, thanks. Another one for me. Dear George, it's hard to imagine any new year being happier for you than the last. But if it's possible, we wish it for you. Josie, Mom, and Dad. You know, I've got a score to settle with those three. For years, they've been telling me how we've all got to stick together. Now, with the best show I've ever written and offered to them, they refuse to be in it. Not right for the parts or some such baloney. Well, they're not getting away with it this time. And just to make sure, I've had my lawyer draw up a little paper. I'm serious, Pop. I think you'd better read it.
What is it, George?
Only one way to find out. And I'm warning you, it's airtight.
Airtight. I, George Michael Cohan, do on this day, January 1st, 1907, hereby deed to my mother and sister Josie all title to properties held by me in Glen Cove. George, that's your farm. You just bought it.
And spent 2 weeks there, and that was enough. Birds all over the place. Go on, Pop.
I also attest that from this day forward, my father, Jeremiah J. Cohan, and I are partners. One half and equal in every theater property I possess or will possess, including all my songs. I'm sorry, I didn't bring my glasses.
There isn't much more, Pop. Just, with all my love and gratitude, your son and partner, George.
George, son, on behalf of your mother, your sister, and myself, I thank you. My wife thanks you.
Hey, that's mine!
Was yours. Half mine now. I got it just on time.
For
He's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow.
Now,
Your way, George?
my way, Ethel. Sam!
which
Nobody can deny.
Sam, finish reading these, will ya? I've got plans to talk over with the new boss.
Sure, Georgie. Here's another one for Fame. Congratulations on getting through another year. Marie Dressler. One for you, Georgie. Dear George, have decided to proceed as planned and don't think another meeting would accomplish anything. Papers en route,
Your lawyer's office should arrive next week. Forgive me, George. Ethel. Well, that's it, George. End of sad scene played against happy scene. Lights fade slowly. It's traditional, dear. Music up. It makes it easier to get off. Girl starts for door. Turns. You see, she always kept it, George. Morning glories in clover, birdies flying all over.
I'm sorry, George. It was in with the rest of the wires.
Sorry for what? Saves me having to tell you one at a time, that's all. Why, I'm $50 ahead in phone bills already. Well, this is supposed to be a party, isn't it? Let's make it look like one. And Sam, get that music going. I paid $500 for that band. I want to hear it.
You'll never get a cab here, George. Let me give you a ride. My car's over on 6th.
No, that's okay. It'll do me good to get some air. I'll walk.
Okay, George. Oh, by the way, Georgie, Happy New Year.
It's only 3
Same
blocks.
to you, Frankie.
I'll walk.
Same to you.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Miss Wooster Mass. What?
Mr. Cohen, I didn't see you.
What do you mean by leaving the party early?
Well, I'd hardly call 2 in the morning early. I'm tired. We've got 2 shows tomorrow, so I thought I'd go home.
Which way?
3 blocks uptown.
You got company. Tell me something, Miss Wooster Mass. You're a sensible girl. What's wrong with people?
People?
All of them. You love them, trust them. You give them everything you got, and they walk out on you.
Well,
I don't even know why I'm asking. I've known about people for years. They come and they go. They crowd you when you don't want them, and they're never there when you do.
well, they must have something to recommend them, Mr. Cohen. Not many of us seem to be able to do without them.
Don't give me that Tin Pan Alley malarkey. It's great for second act ballads, but that's it. Kid, when I was 5, they stuck a fiddle in my hand, and I went out there and played. And there was nothing but me, those lights, and that stage. And it was enough.
And now?
It's still enough. Lights. Broadway. Depend on those lights. They're always there.
And if someday you look up and they're not?
Kid, that day's never gonna happen.
Well, this is it, Mr. Cohen.
Huh?
Home, where I live. Thanks for the company. And I hope you're right about that.
Hey, wait a minute. You can't walk out on an argument just like that. I still got lots to say. How about lunch tomorrow?
Oh, it's not a very good idea, Mr. Cohen. Well, you see, I wouldn't want us to get too friendly. I'm people. I might let you down.
I'll take the chance. Pick you up at noon, and that name is...
Miss Wooster Mass. Good night, Mr. Cohen.
Good night, kid. She thinks he won't last, but I know different. We're a team, you and me. I do my part, and you do yours. Hey, lights, you got a whole country full of people out there looking at me, so don't let me down. I'm the kid that's all the candy. I'm a Yankee Doodle dandy. I'm glad I am. So's Uncle Sam. I'm a real life Yankee Doodle. Made my name on payment poodle, just like Mr. Doodle did by riding on a pony. I'm a Yankee Doodle dandy. A Yankee Doodle do or die. A real life nephew of my Uncle Sam. Born on the 4th of July. I've got a Yankee Doodle sweetheart. She's my Yankee Doodle joy. Yankee Doodle came to London just to ride the ponies. I am a Yankee Doodle boy.
I am a Yankee Doodle boy.
Why didn't you tell us? We could have given you a shower. What about the show? Will you leave it? I'll have to. I have a feeling that being Miss George Cohen's a 24-hour job.
But what about the honeymoon?
Or will it be Europe? Florida? Niagara?
We'll hit them all and then some. Right after the new show opens.
What new show?
Oh, Sam, did I forget to tell you? Goes into rehearsal next Monday. Best thing I ever wrote. Little Nellie Kelly. It's all about this cop, you see, with his beautiful daughter and his mother in the
It's the same old song they sing. The boys are all wild about Nellie, the daughter of Officer Kelly. It's all day long they bring flowers all dripping with dew, and they join in the chorus of Nellie, Kelly, I love you.
It's the same old song they sing. The boys are all wild about Nellie, the daughter of Officer Kelly, and it's all day long they bring flowers all dripping with dew, and they join in the chorus of Nellie Kelly. I love. What'd you say?
I'm getting married, George. Fred Nibble has asked me to marry him, and I've accepted.
Well, wonderful. Great. Well, what'd you think I was going to do? Forbid it?
George, there's more. Fred's on the road an awful lot, and of course Josie wants to be with him,
What
so...
do you mean, be with him?
Travel with him, George. Go wherever he goes.
But what about the act before Cohen's?
She's leaving it, George.
I'm sorry, Georgie. I just thought
You're
that-
sorry? You take 25 years and throw it away and you say you're sorry? Look, Josie, I put my whole life into this act, and you got no right walking out on it just like that.
Why not, George?
Because I said so, that's all. And if I have to explain that to you or any of you, you don't belong in this business.
That's just about enough. I don't know why I'm wasting my breath for. You're nothing but a pig-headed Irishman. You'll never amount to anything else.
What'd you call me, Mulligan?
You're a pig-headed Irishman, Hannigan, and a disgrace to the fine name ye bear.
Them a fighting words, Mulligan. Fighting words. For I'm just as proud of my name, you see, as an emperor, czar, or a king can be. The ladies and babies are fond of me. I'm fond of them too in return, you see. H-A-R-R-I-G-A-N spells Harrigan. Proud of all the Irish blood that's in me. Devil a man can say a word against me. H-A-R-R-I-G-A-N, yes, see. It's a name that the shame never has been connected with. Harrigan Mulligan, that's me. H-M-U-R-R-I-G-A-N spells me. It's a name that a shame never has been connected with. Harrigan
Mulligan. Harrigan Mulligan. Harrigan Mulligan. Harrigan. Harrigan. What's that?
Sam? What's the matter, Sam?
It's Jerry, George.
Papa?
He's dead. Agnes just called from the hospital. Nellie's with her. George, if there's anything I can do for you, my car's outside.
Johnny, get your gun, get your gun, get your gun. Take it on the run, on the run, on the run. Hoist the flag and let her fly, like true heroes do or die. Pack your little kit, show your grit, do your bit. Soldiers to the ranks, from the towns and the tanks. Make your mother proud of you, and to liberty be true. Over there, over there. Send the word, over there. That the Yanks are coming, the Yanks are coming. The drums from coming everywhere. So beware, say a prayer. Send the word, over there. We'll be all, we're coming all. And we won't be back till it's over. You're a grand old flag, you're a high-flying flag, and forever peace make way. You're the emblem of the land I love, the home of the free and the brave. Every heart but you hold the wait and see for not keep your eye on the grand old
There's a feeling comes a stealing and it sets my brain a-reeling when I'm listening to the music of a military band.
Any tune like Yankee Doodle nearly sets me off my noodle. It's that patriotic stuff that you won't understand. But I am for you, I am for you, I am for the grand old flag.
The actors are forming a union, George. It's the only way we can fight. Fight who?
The producers. Us.
Not guys like you, and you know it. It's the small-time chiselers we're after. You know, the bums who work here 70 hours a week in some filthy rat cage for a big $15. Always on the lookout for a kickback or no job.
Unions organizing. That's Pittsburgh, Hank, not Broadway.
But the country's changing, George. Broadway's got to change with it.
You change Broadway, Hank, and you'll kill it. I look around me even now, and it's not the same. We're talking about actors walking off the stage. When I was coming up, you couldn't drag us off. We ate, breathed, and lived this business. Why, I'd flop into bed at the last show at night. You know how long I'd stay there? 10 minutes. Then I'd be up scribbling new scenes. Pretty soon, Josie'd sneak into the room and we'd work on dance routines. Wouldn't get to sleep till dawn. So much of it's gone already. Josie, Dash, poor Kovacs. Broadway's the only thing left of the old days. And if you change that, you change it without me.
Easy, George. We don't have to make any decisions right now.
Now is as good a time as any. Radicals, Bolsheviks. That's not my Broadway, Sam, and I don't want any part of it.
They're not radicals and Bolsheviks. You know it, George. Sam's right. Wait a bit and stay on the sidelines.
Agnes, I'm Georgie. What do I know about sidelines? Okay, Hank, that's it. You got a fight on your hands. From me. And I promise you that if it's your Broadway that wins, it'll be a Broadway without Cohan.
George!
Kid, I don't intend to lose. I've been giving this street what it wants for a long time now, and it's not gonna like doing without me. I'm not only on that train, Agnes, I own it! I am the man who owns Broadway. That's what the daily papers say. The girls are turned away at every matinee. They go to see the players, not the play they say.
He's the man who owns Broadway.
Hey, Frankie, look! There's the man who owns Broadway. Who? What do you mean who? It's Jolson. Al Jolson. Hey!
That's what the daily papers say.
Biggest hit on Broadway, 1922 Ziegfeld Follies, starring Debbie Ziegfeld, Fanny Price.
The girls are turned away at every matinee.
They go to see the players, not the play they say.
There he is! Oh, Mr. Tracy! I want you to know I love you! He's on that Broadway and your speed.
So I said to her, hey, Miss Garbo. And when she turned around, I got the picture. I'm going to sleep with it under my pillow.
He's got the popularity. Well, chicken for opening night, Red Hot Blue, with Rhoda, Bex, and Shimmy, Shireen.
If there's anything in town you want to buy or rent or hire, drop a line or wire to the sole proprietor.
We want cancer, we want cancer. The man who owns Broadway, they say. Up, you idiot, we'll miss Jack Benny. The man who owns Broadway, they say.
Turn up the Philco, Martha. I want to hear Bob Hope.
Turned the corner of Broadway and 43rd the other day. Gal yells out.
Look, honey, look! There's... what's his name?
There's what's his name?
I'm sorry I'm late, dear. 1,000 phone calls and I couldn't get a cab and then
That's all right. Just running around the old town, seeing how things have changed. Did you see what they're up to over on 42nd? Turning the new Amsterdam into a movie house. And I hear the Selwyn and the Lyric are going the same route. I tell you, Agnes, it's enough to just...
Now, dear, don't get upset. I planned a nice quiet lunch for just the two of us,
And
then...
that's another thing, Miss Wooster-Mass. What's the big idea of asking the old man out to lunch? I'm not saying I don't like it, but it's a very suspicious invitation. And I'm warning you, Nolan, if it's one of your Irish tricks,
I don't know what you're talking about, dear. It was just such a lovely day. Warmest February 1st since 1893, according to the New York Sun. And I thought it'd be nice to take a little walk. and have lunch. And also, dear, this cane. It's from Sam Harris.
4th class mail, 3 cents postage due.
First class, special delivery.
He wants something. If you want my advice, you'll throw it away without looking at it.
Oh, dear, don't be silly. It might be important. Sam wouldn't send a first class special delivery unless... It's a script!
That he wants me to doctor. Well, tell him no thanks.
That he wants you to be in.
Me? Be in somebody else's show?
It's called I'd Rather Be Right, and it's a new musical.
Sing somebody else's song.
But honey, he says the part's perfect for you.
I don't care if I be playing the President of the United States. Look, Agnes, I'm very happy the way I am. These have been wonderful years for me. Tell him no. Now, if we're going to walk, let's walk.
Yes, dear.
I'm in retirement and I love it.
Of course, dear.
N-O.
Fine, dear. I should have thrown it away without opening it, as you suggested. I'll put it in the trash can right now.
Warmest February 1st since 1893, huh? I want to read about that. I think I noticed a copy of The Sun in that basket.
I thought you might, dear.
I thought you might, dear. And I might just as well let you know about a new policy in this family kit. I examine all trash baskets here and at home to see if by chance something valuable has been thrown out by mistake. And if by any chance I do find something valuable, you can just tell your pal, Mr. Sam, first class special delivery Harris, that my terms will not only be high but astronomical, and I'm only considering it in the first place because if I don't get back on stage, I'll go nuts. Agnes, do me a favor. Don't ever let me retire again. The working conditions are brutal. You know what retired people need is? It's a union. I'd rather be right than influential. I'd rather be right than wealthy and wise. You don't come through, dear, where praise belongs. But pertaining to you, dear, I can't go wrong. I'd rather hold it. George, that's great. The step with the cane. But I'm not sure we need it in this scene. The president's supposed to be talking to Congress, and I don't think he would... I know, but it's my entrance, and people expect me to do a few cane bits. Believe me, it'll bring down the house. I'm sure it would, Georgie, but for the wrong reasons. The mood we're trying to establish... I'm going to give you the mood you want, right after I do the cane bits. I've been doing these bits for 40 years, and I know. Look, let me show you the finish. Hey, kid, take it from the second eight, will ya? And fellas, do that step with me the way I showed you. Okay? Okay, kid, go. You don't come through, dear, where brains belong. The potato takes you, dear. I can't go wrong. I'd rather be right. George, I see what you mean, Georgie. And that's great. Only trouble is you're supposed to be worried when you come on. You've got to face Congress and what? Okay, Wolf. 6 o'clock, kids. That's it for today. Take it out, same place tomorrow at 10. Look, Georgie, why don't you go upstairs, cool off, and we'll discuss it. I've got a couple of other notes I want to go over with you anyhow. Look, kid, I'm not against discussing anything. Believe me, I think you got a few great ideas here. But if it's one thing I know about, it's my entrance. Hey, fellas, that was it. Great job. I'll be right back down. I've got to get a towel or something. Walt, did you type up those Cohan notes?
3 copies, sir. One for you, one for the office,
Look,
and one...
I want you to give them to him. I know it sounds like I'm running out, but I just can't get through to the old boy. You can't handle it, can't you?
Sure. Here or in his dressing room?
Anywhere I'm not. Look, the simplest way to do it is to plow right through. Give it to him straight. He'll give you a few arguments, but just go on.
Right.
And if he asks for me, tell him I went over to the costumers, anything. Look, don't be too harsh on him. Just business-like. And don't forget to give him a copy of that new lyric. I want it in by tomorrow.
I had it typed up this afternoon, sir. 1 copy for you, 1 for the office, and
Fine, fine. Well, look, give me a call later on. Let me know how it goes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, kid, let's get down to it. Hell, I'm not against discussing anything, but it... Where's Danny?
He had to leave. Trouble with the customers. He asked me to...
Fine, no problem. Get to it tomorrow. I'm a little tired tonight anyhow.
He asked me to give you his notes. If you don't mind, sir.
Why should I mind? Hey, Mo, do me a favor, will ya? Sure. Agnes is waiting for me in the car. Tell her I'll be down in 5 minutes. Okay, kid, what you got?
Well, to begin with, sir, Mr. Wilson feels the Supreme Court scene is running a little long, and he wants to cut...
Okay, I agree. So we cut out a few minutes someplace else. What else you got?
Well, according to these notes, he wants it out of that scene.
Kid, look. That's pure gold you're talking about. I've been doing these bits for 40 years, and I know.
Maybe that's just it. Those bits are 40 years old. They don't go with the rest of the material. And if there's going to be any sense of cohesiveness to the script...
Sense of what?
Cohesiveness.
I see. Go on, kid.
Well, that's it for that scene, sir. Now, about your first entrance.
Let me guess again. No cohesiveness?
Exactly. You see, the way this play's structured, that scene makes a strong dramatic statement. All those extraneous tricks and asides
Look,
only
let's drop the
violate...
10-buck words and get down to it, kid. I can't stand here
I
all
want you
day.
to drop the hat and cane, sir. Do the entrance straight.
Now, just a
Don't
minute.
you see it's for your own good, Mr. Cohan? He doesn't want you, excuse me, making a fool out of yourself by throwing in a lot of terms and bits.
I said, wait a minute! My name's Cohan, and there's a couple things you don't seem to understand. I've been on stage something like 10,000 times. I've written half 100 shows and put on half 100 more. And if I stick in my oar, it's because this show needs it. As a matter of fact, a good overhauling by me would be the best thing for this script. What's that?
New lyric. I was asked to give it to you in place of the one you changed yesterday.
That
The
lyric's insulting. I don't feel like saying those things about Al Smith. He's a friend of mine. Okay, what I put in may not be smart, but it's worked for 40 years, damn it! And I don't need some punk cat!
These are the director's notes, Mr. Cohan, not mine! And maybe what's worked for years isn't what he wants in this show. The way you were taught was great, for its time. But this is 1937, and things have changed. And excuse me for saying this, sir, but if you don't realize that, maybe you shouldn't have come back. Now, here's the new lyric they want you to learn, and if you can manage it, they'd appreciate you having it by tomorrow. Look, if you like, I could stay and go over it with you.
No, thanks.
Well, then, if you don't mind, I'll be running along. I have an early call. Are you sure you wouldn't like me to stay?
Go on, kid. I want to cool down. That dance routine got me a little overheated.
All right. Well, see you in the morning, Mr. Cohan.
In the morning.
I'm sure it's just about to start. Won't New York once more. Say goodbye, say goodbye. Let it out. So, as the ship strikes out, remember me to Herald Square. Give my regards to Broadway.
Remember me to Herald Square. Tell all the gang at 42nd Street that
I will soon be there. Whisper of how I'm yearning to mingle with the old-time throng. Give my regards to old Broadway.
Are you all right, dear? Are you all right?
Of course. But why shouldn't I be?
You said you'd be out in 5 minutes, and it's already been a half an hour, and it's...
Look, Miss Wooster Mass, my name's Cohan. I've written 100 shows and put out 100 more. And if I say 5 minutes, I could be anywhere up to an hour and a half.
Yes, dear.
And I expect you to wait there full time with words of love and devotion, written, conceived, and executed by Georgian Cohan.
I will, dear.
Because I need the Magnus. I need them. New lyric I asked him to write. Not bad. Think I'll use it on my entrance. Right after I do the cave bit.
I've got a Yankee Doodle sweetheart.
Got it out, Worcester, man.
He's my Yankee.
You know I'm a sucker for that sort of thing.